Imagine for a moment that you want to climb a mountain. You can't do it by wishing, hoping, or waiting for a burst of motivation. You do it by putting one foot in front of the other, step by step, day by day. That's the power of discipline, the quiet, unglamorous, often overlooked shortcut that makes dreams inevitable. You see, most people are searching for the secret, looking for some magical formula that will make success effortless. But the truth is, there is no secret. There is only the disciplined journey, the path of repeated actions done consistently, even when you don't feel like it, even when the world says you can't, even when the reward seems distant. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, and it works silently, invisibly, but with unstoppable momentum. The people who achieve more, who rise higher, who build lives of meaning and impact, they do it not because they are luckier, smarter, or more talented, but because they are willing to do the small, disciplined things every day that others avoid. And here's the exciting part. Once you embrace discipline, once you make it a habit, it becomes a force that works for you, not against you. It shapes your character, strengthens your resolve, and positions you to take advantage of opportunities that others simply miss. The discipline shortcut isn't about perfection. It's about showing up, choosing wisely, and trusting that the compound effect of consistent effort will carry you further than motivation ever could. Today, we're going to explore how to harness this power, how to turn discipline into your ally, and how to accelerate your growth in ways that make your goals not just possible, but inevitable. Most people make a critical mistake when it comes to achievement. They wait for motivation. They wait for inspiration. They wait for that burst of energy to hit them before taking action, and yet life rarely works that way. Motivation is like a spark in the night. It can light a fire, but it won't keep it burning. You can feel motivated today, but tomorrow you might wake up tired, distracted, or frustrated, and all of that motivation disappears. That's why the real key to success is not waiting for motivation at all. It's building consistency, developing habits, and committing to taking action every single day, regardless of how you feel in that moment. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, intelligence, or luck. It's the willingness to show up day after day, consistently doing the work even when the excitement fades and the initial energy dies. Think about the lives of people who are exceptional in their fields. They don't wake up every day feeling inspired. They wake up and do what they know must be done. They understand that motivation is a visitor, a friend that may come and go, but discipline and consistency are companions that never abandon you. If you want results, you must learn to trust the process, and the process is built on showing up. You don't need to feel like running 5 miles today. You need to run it anyway. You don't need to feel like reading that chapter or making that call. You do it because you understand that your future self is being shaped by the choices you make right now. One of the greatest misconceptions in life is that motivation equals success. People say, I need to feel motivated to start a new habit, or I will begin when I feel inspired. The truth is, if you rely on feeling inspired, you will wait forever. Feeling inspired is temporary, fleeting, and unreliable, but consistency is dependable. It doesn't ask for permission from your emotions or circumstances. It works quietly in the background, compounding over time, turning small actions into massive results. If you write just 1 page a day, in a year, you have written hundreds of pages. If you save a small portion of your income every month, in a decade, you have significant wealth. If you practice one skill a little bit every day, over time, mastery is inevitable. These results are not magical. They are the outcome of consistent effort, repeated action, and the refusal to rely on mood or motivation. Consider the analogy of a dripping faucet. Each drop of water seems insignificant by itself, but if the faucet drips consistently day after day, over weeks and months, it can wear down stone. Consistency is like that drip. Motivation is a flood. It comes, it surges, and then it disappears. But the steady drip of discipline and action is unstoppable. You cannot always control how you feel, but you can always control what you do. You cannot always control the circumstances around you, but you can control the small choices you make every day. Every time you choose consistency over convenience, over distraction, over procrastination, you are investing in your future, and the payoff may not be immediate, but it is inevitable. Many people fail because they underestimate the power of consistent action. They look for quick wins, they seek instant results, they want to see progress in a week or a month, and when it doesn't happen, they give up. But consistency is a long game. It is quiet, it is patient, and it is relentless. The results will come, but only if you persist, only if you continue to do the work day after day, no matter how small it seems. You must create routines, habits, and rituals that keep you moving forward, because life will always tempt you with excuses. You will be tired, busy, or distracted. You will encounter obstacles, setbacks, and failures. But if you have built a foundation of consistency, those challenges will not stop you. Instead, they will test you, refine you, and make your eventual success even more meaningful. Many people think success is about one big decision or one dramatic action. But the reality is that success is the accumulation of small, consistent choices. The person who writes one paragraph a day becomes a published author. The person who saves $10 a week becomes financially secure. The person who studies or trains a little each day becomes highly skilled. Each of these outcomes is the product of repeated, consistent action, not sudden bursts of motivation. The power of consistency also lies in its compounding effect. Just as money compounds in a bank account, effort compounds in life. One small action today may seem insignificant, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, it produces exponential growth. One day you look back and realize that you have far more than you could have imagined, simply because you were consistent when others quit, because you did what needed to be done when others waited to feel like doing it. Discipline, habit, and consistency are your allies. They do not require perfect conditions or ideal circumstances. They do not wait for inspiration, excitement, or favorable timing. They simply ask you to do what you know is right and necessary, and to do it regularly. That is why consistency beats motivation every time. Motivation is unreliable. Consistency is unstoppable. Motivation is a spark. Consistency is a flame that grows. If you commit to being consistent, if you commit to showing up, to taking small actions every day, you create a system for success that is far more powerful than any fleeting feeling. And here is the liberating truth. You don't have to be extraordinary to start. You just have to be consistent. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. You don't have to feel motivated. You just have to act. Each day, each choice, each action builds upon the last. Your life is not determined by single moments of inspiration, but by the repeated, disciplined actions that accumulate over time. Consistency transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers because it allows them to harness the power of time and effort. It allows them to turn vision into reality, dreams into tangible results, and potential into accomplishment. You will face days when it feels meaningless, when the work seems too small, when the progress seems invisible. Those are the exact moments that matter most. Those are the moments when consistency is tested, when discipline proves its value, when your commitment to yourself and your goals is either strengthened or weakened. The person who endures, the person who continues to act even when motivation is absent, that person will always outpace the one who waits to feel inspired. Every great life, every remarkable achievement, every success story is built on a foundation of consistent, disciplined action. It is rarely glamorous. It is rarely celebrated in the moment, but in time, it produces results that are undeniable, unstoppable, and life-changing. Life is not defined by single dramatic moments. It is not shaped by sudden strokes of luck, by miraculous opportunities, or by one-time decisions that change everything. Life is the accumulation of small daily choices, repeated consistently over time, that ultimately determine who you become, what you achieve, and how you live. Every great accomplishment, every extraordinary life, every lasting legacy is built on this principle. People often underestimate the power of what they do every single day. They think it won't matter if I skip one day, or one small effort won't make a difference, and yet it is those very moments, those very small decisions that compound to create outcomes far beyond imagination. You may not see the results today, and you may not feel the significance of your actions in the moment, but the impact accumulates quietly, steadily, like a snowball rolling down a hill. Each choice is a building block. Each action is a brick in the foundation of your future, and over time, those bricks and blocks create something monumental, something solid, something unshakable. Consider your health. Eating a single healthy meal today may seem insignificant. Taking a 10-minute walk may feel trivial. But when these small actions are repeated day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, they produce a level of fitness, energy, and vitality that seems almost miraculous to the untrained eye. The same principle applies to your mind, your skills, and your career. Reading one chapter of a book, practicing one skill, making one productive call, or learning one new technique each day may seem small, almost inconsequential. But over time, these actions lead to knowledge, mastery, and competence that set you apart from everyone else. The people who achieve greatness are not necessarily those with extraordinary talent, but those who understand the power of consistent small steps. They know that if they focus on doing a little bit more than yesterday, if they make better choices consistently, the results will accumulate in a way that feels unstoppable. Small daily choices matter because they compound. The principle of compounding is often associated with money, but it applies to everything in life: health, relationships, character, skills, and influence. One small improvement today, when compounded over time, leads to massive progress. Conversely, one small poor choice, repeated over time, can lead to disastrous consequences. Life is neutral. It doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards action, and action repeated consistently. The person who invests in themselves, even in small ways, day after day, begins to pull ahead, often silently, without immediate recognition, until one day, the cumulative effect of those small actions becomes obvious to everyone. Imagine two people starting at the same place, with the same opportunities, the same time, and the same resources. One person reads for 20 minutes a day, practices their craft a little more diligently, and makes thoughtful decisions consistently. The other person waits for motivation, procrastinates, and does only what is convenient. A year from now, the difference between them will be enormous. 10 years from now, the gap may be unrecognizable. This is the power of small, daily choices. They are the quiet agents of transformation. They are invisible in the moment, but undeniable in the long run. The beauty of this principle is that it democratizes success. It does not require genius, luck, or extraordinary circumstances. It requires focus, intention, and consistency. Every single person has the ability to make small choices that, compounded over time, lead to extraordinary results. Every single person can control their habits, their routines, and their daily actions. Every single person can decide that they will make choices today that honor their future selves. The key is awareness and deliberate action. Too many people live on autopilot, allowing circumstances, impulses, or external pressures to dictate their choices. They drift through life, making decisions in the moment, often reactive rather than proactive. But once you become aware of the power of small daily choices, once you recognize that every decision has consequences far beyond the immediate, you gain control. You begin to make choices that align with your goals, your values, and your vision for your life. You begin to see that success is not about dramatic leaps, but about steady, incremental progress. Small choices also teach discipline, self-respect, and responsibility. When you commit to making better choices consistently, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's uncomfortable, you are training yourself to act in alignment with your highest vision. You are teaching yourself that your actions matter, that your habits define you, and that you are the architect of your own life. This is why small daily choices are a shortcut to mastery. You don't need to overhaul your life in one day. You don't need to achieve perfection overnight. You just need to start where you are, with what you have, and make one small, consistent choice that moves you forward. Do this every day and the results will surprise you. The challenge is that small choices are often overlooked. They are easy to ignore because they feel insignificant. Skipping a workout, eating one unhealthy meal, procrastinating for an hour, or neglecting to study for just a few minutes may feel harmless in the moment. But if these choices become habitual, they define your life. On the flip side, small positive choices, repeated consistently, shape your character, strengthen your will, and create momentum that propels you forward. Momentum is a powerful force. Once you begin to make consistent small choices, you start to build momentum. One good choice leads to another. One productive action inspires the next. Before long, you find yourself moving forward with a force that is difficult to stop. The person who takes advantage of this principle is not only building results, but also building confidence. Each small choice reinforces the belief that they are capable, that they can control their future, and that they have the power to create the life they desire. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine you want to write a book. The task can seem overwhelming, intimidating, and impossible. But if you commit to writing 200 words a day, it doesn't feel so daunting. 200 words a day, every day, leads to thousands of words in a month. In a year, you have a complete manuscript. The daily choice seems small, almost trivial, but the results are enormous. The same principle applies to building relationships, showing up for your family, offering a kind word, listening attentively, expressing gratitude, and helping consistently may seem like small actions, but over time they build trust, intimacy, and love. One day you look back and realize that you have not only nurtured relationships, but created a life rich in connection and meaning. Small daily choices also affect your financial life. Saving a few dollars each day, investing consistently, and avoiding impulsive spending may feel negligible, but over years, those choices accumulate into wealth, security, and financial freedom. You don't need to make grand gestures. You just need to be consistent with the small, smart decisions that build over time. The principle of small daily choices also teaches patience. We live in a world of instant gratification, where people expect results immediately. But the truth is that meaningful results take time. It is the patient, consistent person who wins in the end. The small choices may feel slow, unremarkable, or even frustrating in the moment, but the reward is inevitable if you persist. The secret is understanding that time is your ally, not your enemy. Every day, every week, every month, every year that you make better choices compounds into extraordinary results. Life is like a garden. If you plant a seed today, it won't become a tree overnight. It requires watering, sunlight, care, and patience. Small daily choices are the water, the sunlight, and the care that nurture your garden into full bloom. Ignore them, and nothing grows. Tend to them, and you are amazed at what flourishes. You see, success is not sudden. It is gradual, steady, and deliberate. It is the outcome of decisions that may seem small, insignificant, or mundane, but repeated consistently with intention and focus. Every time you choose to take a small step toward your goal, to do a little more, to be a little better, you are compounding your success. You are laying a foundation that will support you for years to come. The power of small daily choices is also empowering. It reminds you that no matter your circumstances, your past, or the obstacles you face, you always have control over your choices today. You may not control the economy, the people around you, or unexpected events, but you do control what you do in this moment, and that choice determines the trajectory of your life. The person who understands this principle is never a victim. They are proactive, intentional, and committed to excellence. They know that big results are not the product of grand gestures, but of small actions, done consistently. It is in the small actions repeated faithfully that lives are transformed, goals are achieved, and potential is realized. The secret is simple. Focus on what you can do today. Make one better choice. Take one small action and trust the process. Over time, these choices accumulate, compound, and lead to results that far exceed your imagination. Every success story you admire, every life you envy, every achievement you wish were yours, all of them are the product of small daily choices, repeated relentlessly, compounded patiently, and executed consistently, without the expectation of immediate reward, yet with the unwavering faith that results will come. Most people misunderstand the idea of freedom. They think freedom is about doing whatever they want, whenever they want, without restraint, without responsibility, without discipline. But true freedom is very different. True freedom is earned. It is not given. It is not discovered by chance, and it is not the result of external circumstances. True freedom comes from mastering yourself, mastering your mind, mastering your emotions, mastering your habits, and mastering your choices. Self-mastery is the cornerstone of a life that is not dictated by impulses, fears, or outside pressures. It is the gateway to living deliberately, intentionally, and fully. Until you master yourself, you are enslaved to the moods of the day, to the opinions of others, to fleeting desires, and to external circumstances. You may believe you are free because you have options or because you can make decisions, but if your decisions are reactive, impulsive, or uncontrolled, then you are not free at all. You are being carried by life rather than steering it. Freedom comes when you recognize that you are responsible for your choices, that your actions have consequences, and that you have the power to direct your own life. Self-mastery is the practice of taking control of your mind and your habits so that your actions align with your highest goals, values, and vision. It is the understanding that you do not have to be a victim of your impulses, circumstances, or emotions. Instead, you can cultivate discipline, focus, and clarity to create the life you desire. The process of self-mastery begins with awareness. You must become conscious of your thoughts, your actions, and your patterns. You must recognize the habits that serve you and the habits that hold you back. You must identify the choices you make unconsciously and begin to replace them with deliberate, intentional decisions. Awareness is the first step, because you cannot control what you do not recognize. Once you are aware of your behaviors and patterns, you can begin to take responsibility for them. Responsibility is the foundation of freedom. Until you accept that your life is the result of your choices, you will always be at the mercy of external forces. You may complain about your circumstances, blame others for your failures, or wish life were different, but as long as you refuse responsibility, you are not free. Taking responsibility for your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions is liberating. It puts the power back in your hands. It allows you to say, I am the master of my own life, and I choose how I respond, what I focus on, and what I create. Self-mastery also involves controlling your impulses. Every human being is constantly bombarded with desires, temptations, and distractions. Without self-mastery, you will be pulled in every direction, reacting to every stimulus and living a life of chaos and inconsistency. But with self-mastery, you learn to pause before reacting, to consider your options, and to act in alignment with your goals. You begin to prioritize long-term success over short-term gratification. You understand that every moment is an opportunity to either move closer to your vision or drift further away. This is why self-mastery is so powerful. It allows you to harness your energy, focus your mind, and act with intention. It frees you from the tyranny of impulses, from the slavery of habits you cannot control, and from the constant distraction of the world around you. Another aspect of self-mastery is mastering your emotions. Too often, people allow fear, anger, frustration, or doubt to dictate their choices. They let circumstances dictate their moods, and their moods dictate their actions. But a person who masters themselves understands that emotions are signals, not instructions. They recognize the presence of fear, but do not allow it to paralyze them. They feel frustration, but choose to respond with patience. They experience doubt, but act in spite of it. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It is control. It is the ability to respond to life with wisdom, clarity, and composure. By mastering your emotions, you gain the freedom to act decisively, to pursue your goals with clarity, and to maintain confidence even in the face of challenges. Habits are another critical area of self-mastery. Your habits, both good and bad, shape your life far more than your intentions. People often have grand visions and lofty goals, but without disciplined habits to support them, those visions remain dreams. Self-mastery involves identifying the habits that will move you closer to your goals and intentionally cultivating them, while eliminating habits that hold you back. It is the consistent practice of small actions that align with your vision. Every habit you build intentionally is a step toward freedom, because each habit reinforces your ability to act in accordance with your highest priorities. The greatest achievers in life understand this principle. They know that freedom is not a gift. It is the result of repeated, deliberate actions that reinforce self-control, discipline, and responsibility. They know that the person who is mastered by habits, emotions, and impulses will always be trapped, regardless of external circumstances. But the person who masters themselves experiences true liberty. Self-mastery also unlocks the freedom of choice. When you are mastered by your impulses, by your fears, or by external pressures, your choices are limited. You are reacting to circumstances, often making decisions that are convenient or comfortable in the moment, rather than aligned with your vision. But when you master yourself, you expand the range of your choices. You can choose courage over fear, action over procrastination, and long-term gain over short-term pleasure. This freedom of choice is empowering. It allows you to design your life intentionally rather than drifting through it passively. The journey to self-mastery is not easy. It requires courage, discipline, and patience. It requires the willingness to confront uncomfortable truths, to break free from limiting patterns, and to take responsibility for your life. It demands that you act even when it is difficult, even when the reward is not immediate, and even when the path is uncertain. But the reward is profound. Mastering yourself gives you control over your destiny. It allows you to pursue your goals with confidence, resilience, and clarity. It gives you the freedom to live by your own values, to prioritize what truly matters, and to create a life of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Self-mastery is also the foundation of resilience. Life is unpredictable. Challenges, setbacks, and obstacles are inevitable. Without self-mastery, these challenges can derail you, shake your confidence, and lead you to make reactive, short-sighted decisions. But with self-mastery, you remain grounded, focused, and adaptable. You respond to challenges with wisdom, adjust your strategy when necessary, and maintain momentum despite difficulties. This resilience is a form of freedom because it prevents you from being enslaved by circumstances. It ensures that you remain in control even when life feels chaotic. Another important aspect of self-mastery is time management. Mastering yourself means mastering how you use your most valuable resource, your time. Every moment wasted is a moment of your life lost. By cultivating discipline and intentionality in how you spend your time, you gain the freedom to focus on what truly matters. You create space for growth, learning, and achievement. You prevent distractions from dictating your life and ensure that your actions are aligned with your highest priorities. Self-mastery also impacts your relationships. When you master yourself, you interact with others from a place of strength, clarity, and emotional intelligence. You are not reactive, defensive, or dependent on approval. Instead, you communicate effectively, set healthy boundaries, and contribute positively to the lives of those around you. This not only strengthens your relationships, but also enhances your sense of autonomy and freedom in social interactions. Financial freedom is another dimension unlocked by self-mastery. People who lack self-control often spend impulsively, live beyond their means, and react to financial pressures with anxiety or fear. But those who master themselves are intentional with their money. They save consistently, invest wisely, avoid unnecessary debt, and make financial decisions that align with their long-term goals. This level of self-discipline creates freedom because it allows them to live without constant financial stress and to make choices based on opportunity rather than necessity. Self-mastery is ultimately about alignment. It is about aligning your actions, habits, thoughts, and emotions with your vision, values, and purpose. It is about creating a life in which you are not a passive participant, but an active creator. Every choice you make, every habit you cultivate, and every action you take reinforces your ability to live intentionally, to pursue your goals with clarity, and to experience true freedom. It is the recognition that the external world may not always be under your control, but your inner world, the mind, the habits, the emotions, and the choices can be. And when you control your inner world, you control your destiny. The paradox of self-mastery is that it requires discipline and restraint. but the result is freedom. The more disciplined you are, the less constrained you become. The more intentional your actions, the more opportunities open up. The more control you exercise over your mind and habits, the more power you have to design your life. People often fear discipline because they associate it with restriction, limitation, or sacrifice. But true discipline is empowering. It allows you to say no to what is harmful, to choose what is beneficial, and to act in alignment with your highest goals. It turns you from a reactive individual into a proactive creator. Mastering yourself also allows you to harness the power of delayed gratification. The ability to forego short-term pleasure for long-term gain is one of the greatest freedoms a person can achieve. Those who have this skill are not controlled by impulses, addictions, or fleeting desires. They act with intention, patience, and focus, knowing that the rewards will be worth the effort. The benefits of self-mastery extend to every area of life, career, health, relationships, finances, and personal growth. It provides the foundation upon which all achievement is built. Without self-mastery, you are at the mercy of circumstance. With it, you are free to pursue your vision with clarity, resilience, and confidence. True freedom, therefore, is not the absence of rules or restrictions. It is the presence of self-discipline, self-control, and self-awareness. It is the ability to act intentionally, to make choices aligned with your goals, and to navigate life with confidence and purpose. Self-mastery unlocks this freedom, transforming ordinary people into extraordinary achievers and turning potential into reality.